Like I said the other night, Miami fans, be very, very encouraged because the way they were propping up Denver for the last 2 days before the game, it was too easy to pick Denver. I just know how this stuff goes. I knew that they would try to throw Denver in our face and that Miami would swoop up and just take the game. I just had a feeling. And like I said weeks ago, guys, be careful. Be very careful betting on Denver. It's too easy. It's what the media is pushing in your face. Usually, when the media is pushing something in your face, the opposite is usually true. Not always, but usually it's true. It's the same story as last game for Miami, though. Miami starts off shooting well, and then it stays, or excuse me, it stops. Then they catch up late in the second within 5 points. Then they pull away. Denver does, right? Then they play well, and then they pull away again. Denver did. I think they had a 12-point lead at one point. But one thing I noticed, they played well with Kevin Love on the floor. I was saying Kevin Love should have been starting the entire time. Kevin Love should have been playing game one. He was a do not play for 3 games before that. I don't know. For some reason, he didn't play game one. I thought he'd be a good matchup for one of those two big men just because of his pure size and his experience. Like, he's been around the block. Like, this guy is like 35 or something. Like, he's been playing for over a decade. He's a champion. Like, I just don't understand why they didn't use him sooner. So that's a coaching error. And maybe it's part of the plan. Who knows? But the point is, Kevin Love should have been playing this whole time. Caleb Martin looked good. Very good in the pick and roll. Miami did a great job of slowing the game down. Something they didn't do in game one. They got to the free throw line. They made it difficult for Jokic. Even though he dropped 41 or something, we'll check that in a minute. But they made it very, very difficult for him. It was not easy for Jokic to score points. Even though he got his points, they forced Jokic to be a scorer. Because Jokic, he don't like to score. He likes to get his teammates involved. He's more of a point guard in a center's body. He scores when he has to, but he'd rather pass it to his teammates. I played with a teammate like this. Funny part is, he was from Serbia too. That's the funny part. I was telling him the other day, I guess all you Serbs just like to pass the ball. You don't like to shoot. Because he was the same way. He was like freaking 6'5". I would feed him inside, and he would never want to go up. He'd always just pass it away. My coaches used to yell at him. None of us could get him to go up with the ball. And it's the same thing with Jokic. He kind of plays like this guy I'm talking about. But Miami did a good job on him, even though he dropped a lot of points. They forced him to be a scorer. That's what you got to do with Jokic, because he doesn't want to do that. So if you force him to be a scorer, now the other guys are standing around watching. They're not getting the passes. Therefore, they're not going to be in the flow of the game. Therefore, they're going to be missing shots. That's the way it goes. What else? Jokic, I thought he looked tired in the fourth quarter. Maybe it was just me. It looked like he was moving a little slower and sucking on some wind. It's just me. And Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler finally woke up, boys. Michael Jordan's son in the flesh finally woke up, and I'm proud of that brother. That brother was quiet, and in the fourth quarter, just like his father, he showed up. That's what the brother did. I'm proud of that brother. That brother is going to be the X factor in this series, brothers. I promise you. And Jokic, he seemed to roll, or excuse me, it seems like all his shots rolled off the rim. Like, every time he would, like, put something up, it looked like it was short every time, but he'd have that little soft touch, a.k.a. magnets, rolling it right onto the rim. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Like, he's just hook-shotting right over a smaller guy, sometimes a bigger guy, hits the front of the rim ever so lightly, and it just rolls into the net. Like, it's like, what can he do? I don't know what to say. You just hope as Miami that those baskets don't go, but most likely they will. Let's see, what else do I have written down? The zone Miami played, guys. They didn't play a lot of zone early, but they played it late. And it seemed to confuse Denver. I saw them play the 1-3-1. I saw them play a 3-2, a modified 3-2. They played a 2-3. They kept switching it up, guys. And I think late in the game, Denver was getting confused. A few times, Denver just threw inerrant passes out of bounds. It was pretty bad. There was a few points where it looked like they were literally just all out of sorts. Dare I say, almost just throwing the ball out of bounds on purpose. I don't want to accuse them, but that's what I'm going to say. And let's see what else. Denver, they seemed flustered. And it reminded me of the Bucks series. That's something I did write down last night. Like, remember when they played the Bucks Miami, the first game? It looked like the Bucks completely and utterly just outmatched them, guys. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like they were just outmatched, and the size was a problem. That's how I felt the first game with Denver and the Bucks. It felt identical, those two games. Like, it seemed like Brook Lopez and Giannis were just too big, and they had no answer for them. And then Miami, they basically used that first game as a lesson to get tape on you, to find out your weaknesses and then attack those. That's what they did, Miami. They're doing that to Denver. They used the first game as a moniker, as a placeholder to have film, because you need film so you can see what they're doing and how to counteract that. That's what Miami does. They lose their first game to get film on you and to They like being the underdog. I figured it out. Miami wanted to be the underdog. In the regular season, they didn't shoot threes like this. They play two different ways, guys. Regular season ball, postseason ball. Can't even compare it. They don't even run the same plays. I went back and watched some tape from the regular season. They don't even run the same plays. They play way differently. They basically played the regular season so these teams wouldn't have film on them and be able to see what they did. Everything they did in regular season does not apply. Whereas every other team, they brought what they did in the regular season and added to it. Miami, they left what they did in the regular season to the side and did something else. That's why they're so good. They're playing completely differently in every facet. And it's enticing. I love it. And I told y'all they're the best team. Nobody wanted to listen. People thought I was crazy. I know basketball. If there's something I know, it's football. Well, really sports, but really football, basketball, hockey, baseball, track and field, and women. That's what I know. And science. I know that stuff. Everything else is debatable, but I know those things. And body language. But that's my expertise right there. What else? Adebayo, monster inside. He is nowhere near as gifted as Anthony Davis, and that brother has more effort. I'll take Bam over Anthony Davis any day of the week because Anthony Davis doesn't have half as much effort as Bam brings. Bam, you know how Bam beats Anthony Davis, or what he's doing that Anthony Davis couldn't do? He just runs and sprints up and down the court, something Anthony Davis never did. Anthony Davis would just trot back, run back, and let Jokic beat him down the court every time. Bam isn't allowing that. He's running and beating Jokic down the court every time. And that's the difference. Effort. And I said it back then. Anthony Davis is playing with no effort. It's basically, you know that saying coaches used to say, effort beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And that's what this is right here. Adebayo doesn't have any more the more talent as Anthony Davis, but he has way more effort. If Anthony Davis had the effort that Bam had, Anthony Davis would have won, and the Lakers would have won. But he doesn't have the effort. Right now, this is all effort by Bam. He's scoring, he's running, he's facilitating. He's literally doing everything that Anthony Davis couldn't do. And that's why I think Miami's going to win this series. Bam has to be an X factor, which he will, and Butler has to close the games late, which he did. If they can do that, keep the games close and let Butler close the game, Miami is going to win this series. I'm picking them, I think. I know it's a bold pick, but I think if they can just keep the game close, they have a chance. Because the Nuggets, they don't play well in close games. Nuggets, they're more of a blowout team. That's how they like to play. They want to blow you out and keep the spread far away. When the game gets tight, they don't play as well, guys. They just don't. because they've never been here before. This isn't who they are. They like to blow teams out, get that lead, be comfortable. They don't like to get tight. As you saw last night, Miami loves playing tight games. That's how they win. They win games tight. That's how Miami plays it. That's how they love it. They have guys that love the moment. I will say this, though. Jamal Murray, he loves the moment. That brother loves that moment. All right? So don't get it twisted. But he's one of a kind. On that whole Nuggets team, he's probably the only one. I don't even think Jokic likes it late. And Miami was definitely the better coach team. Late in the game, remember when they got the rebound down 3 seconds or 3 points, 10 seconds left. The Nuggets have the ball. Why wouldn't you call a timeout there? You got 2 timeouts, and you don't call the timeout. Like I said in that short video, nothing fishy about that. If I'm a coach, I get the ball. Right when I cross half court, I'm calling timeout just so I can get the best play called. Now you're going to get scrutiny. Now it looks like you threw the game. I'm not putting myself in that situation, but that's how you know these games are swayed by another force. That's why I always say that. I'm trying to calm down with the yelling out the scripted stuff, but when it's egregious, I gotta say it. When it's so bad, I gotta call it out. I just have to. I'm trying to chill with it, but when it's so bad, I gotta do it. I gotta say something. And I have no idea why Denver called no timeout. I just don't. The Nuggets, they just completely botched the game and played to lose, in my opinion. Miami knew what they had all along, but they slow played their real play style in the playoffs, like I said earlier. They don't even play how they played 3 months ago. It's that egregious. If you look at Miami now and how they played 3 months ago, it's 2 different teams, guys. This series is closer than most folks realize. That's what I wrote also. And Jimmy, that brother, he showed up and he showed out and won the game for his squad. And I'm proud of that brother. That brother is the reason, and it's going to be the reason why they get to the promised land. Just like his father long ago, Air Jordan. All right, let's look at this. Let's look at the box score. Let's take a look at what we got here. I don't look at this stuff but after the game. I literally look at this stuff with you guys in the moment because I like to give you guys a breakdown, unflustered and not scripted like the NFL and NBA. I do have notes, but I try to just freestyle so you guys get it organically, So if you look at here and you look at the first game, guys, if you notice, remember Max Strus, he went 0 for 10, guys. And what did I say? He's not going to go 0 for 10 again, and that was the reason they lost. If he even makes 3 of those shots, they win the last game. Duncan Robinson, same thing. My man had 3 points. If he had 10 points last game, they win. Who else? Who was the no-show last time? Caleb actually has not really been a factor, but he usually is a factor, but he's a defensive factor. He makes plays that don't show up on the stat sheet, and he was also battling illness, so I'll give him a pass. But Butler, he showed out. That's 8 more points than last game. Adebayo still dropped in the 20s. Vincent, more points than last game. Everyone stepped up. K Love, 6 points, 10 rebounds, and all those countless plays that don't show up in the stat book. The charges, the misnomers. Kevin Love is more valuable than people realize. Plus 18 plus minus, guys. That's all you got to know. He has an 18 plus minus. That's it. That's all you got to know. Caleb Martin has -7. That's not good. So, yeah, this is coaching, though. Realizing that these negative guys can't be playing as much. See, that's coaching, knowing that these guys aren't playing well, and he kept them off the court. And look at these guys. See, that's coaching. Just knowing the flow of the game, knowing what your players are doing for you. He just kept these guys in most of the game. They had the feel and the flow of the game. And he got these guys in spurts to spell these guys. But these guys weren't playing well right here. And that's coaching. He knew it. These guys aren't playing well, so let's play with these guys and give them spells. So, I mean, I think if they can just keep this up, this isn't a lot to ask. Jimmy, you can give them 21 points a game. Bam, you too. They should be able to do 21 to 25 every game. That shouldn't be an issue. Vincent, I'm holding him to 20 points, man, because he's been doing it. He's a baller. Vincent can ball. So I'm holding him to that. Max Strus can ball. So I'm holding those two guys. I'm holding their feet to the fire. They better keep playing like that or it's on them. The role players need to step up. Caleb Martin can ball, but he's ill, so I'm going to wait to see what he does on Wednesday, but I think he's going to have a big showing in Miami, guys. Look for Caleb Martin to show up game 3 or 4. Now we look at Jokic. Yep, I was right. He had 41. He didn't have anywhere as many as assists as last game, so that's what you got to do. That's the key to the game. They figured it out. Let Jokic score. See if he can score 100 points. If he can do that and beat you, all right. That's what you got to do. Let Jokic be the scorer. Don't let anyone else get off. And that's what I was saying before. That's the game plan. You got to put Jimmy Butler on Murray. You have to. If you want to win the championship, you have to do it. Stay on Murray, Butler. Like, Jimmy, I need you. I need you to guard that brother. That's it. And then, bam, Kevin Love, I need y'all to cover Jokic. And where's the other brother? Aaron Gordon. I need y'all to hold those brothers down. If y'all can do that, y'all are going to win convincingly. This is how they got to play, though, guys. Yet let Jokic be the scorer. Don't let him be the facilitator. Do not. If you can do that, you win, guys. That's the key to the game. That's it. They only play 8 deep. That's not enough, guys. It's not enough to win the championship. I think Miami's going to win this, guys. I really, truly think Miami is the better team. They play more guys. They're more together. They get more from their bench. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I think Miami's just the better team that no one saw coming. And we're going to be talking about this Miami team for a long time. Mainly because of Jimmy Butler. That brother showed up. And that brother showed out. And I told you he would, fellas. I told you he would. And see, I told you if they made just these 3 categories. What did I say, guys? If they improve these 3 categories, they win the game. Free throws, they shot 20. That's the difference in the last game. They win the game. If they shoot this last game, they win. Just this alone is an improvement. That alone wins their last game. They're winning 2-0. And I think they realize it. Play physical, get to the free throw line, make your threes, and take good shots and make them, and you win the ball game. That's what they got to do because you got to score as much as them. That's what it's not about stopping them because you're only going to be able to stop so much. It's about scoring. It's about balling. And that's what Miami needs to do to get the game done and won. Personal fouls, second chance. I'm just trying to see. Let them get the points in the paint. You make your threes, you win the game. That's the name of the game. They had more turnovers. They got to slow down their fast break points. They got to figure something out about that. They got to slow down their fast break and keep doing what they're doing. And Miami's right where they need to be, guys. They beat them in the assist game. They lost the rebound game. So they got to improve in rebounding and transition defense and continue playing how they played last game, and they'll be in great shape. And I'll give you guys my prediction tomorrow. But I'm feeling really strong about Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. I feel really good about them, and I told you, you should too. I would never steer you guys in the wrong direction. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for my prediction tomorrow. It's going to be a beauty, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.